Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 in life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. You're down! Now, for those of y'all new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. During those times, I accumulated some good stories and some insight on things related to prison, and I'm going to share some with y'all today. If you happen to like this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe. Most importantly, be sure to hit that notification bell. That way, anytime I drop a story, you will be notified ASAP Rocky, and you can hop on it whenever you're ready. Also, if you're new to my page, I rap. Don't get it twisted. The flow is nothing like Curtis Blow. I got a song called Never Gave Me Therapy. It's on all major streaming sites. It's a video up for that. Also, I just dropped the remix for that. It's the audio version. What you need to do, you can check my page out, go to my YouTube playlist, scroll down to gas stations, and you will find a lot of my music there. I hear all the time, man, I thought your music was going to be trash. I finally checked it out, and the music was fire. I'm telling you, don't miss out, man. Now, with that being said, let's hop up into this story right here. Or actually the video. What I'm going to be talking about today is, a lot of times in my comments, man, I'll get dudes telling me, oh, man, that story you told, it sounds like something that came from Jay Williams. Or, that story you told sounds like something that came from Banky Pound. Or whoever. First and foremost, man, salute out to Banky Pound. Salute out to Jay Williams. Salute out to Saint Laz. He's the dude that tells good prison stories out there in New York, man. All these dudes and a few other dudes, I check their channels out, man. Well, to be honest, I haven't really watched much of Jay Williams, just a little bit. Not even a full story, just because initially when I first started doing the stories, a lot of people was telling me to check him out or stuff like that. One individual actually even told me, hey, man, that intro that you got, I think I used to say, y'all already know how this is going to go. Oh, you stole that from Jay Williams or whatever. Stuff like that is funny to me, man. A lot of those sayings and stuff are actually just penitentiary sayings, man, that a lot of people don't realize that they trickle from the penitentiary, of course, with people coming home, and a lot of those sayings originate in prisons, man, and a lot of the prisons all around the United States are pretty much the same for a whole lot of things, except for a few different, variables. But for the most part, a lot of the prisons is basically the same, man. You may have different actors or different characters, but it's pretty much the same old thing. Like, I dropped a story a couple of days ago. It was called I end up calling it Chill versus Goliath. But the original title of that video was actually He Tested My Gangster. Now, just so happened I happened to be looking on YouTube. I seen Banky Pound had released a video about 2 days previous called that. So then I went ahead and changed it. And that's what I'm saying, man. A lot of these people don't understand. A lot of these sayings are just extremely popular and prevalent in prisons and stuff like that, man. And like I say, at these different prisons, you pretty much have the same thing, man. First and foremost, there are a lot of crimes, or a few crimes, I should say, that are frowned on by the convict population, man. I'm not gonna get into those, but basically we all know what those are, man. Outside of those couple of things, I believe in most prisons, the most hated thing by the convicts is a jailhouse thief. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys, and myself included, I found that ironic, because to keep it real, a large percentage of people who are in prison, I would probably say 80% or even more, are in there for victimizing someone else and taking something from someone else, whether it be property, a life, money, whatever. But like I said, it's extremely ironic. No one wants to be victimized in prison themselves. Now, when I say a jailhouse thief, right, I'm talking about if you happen to be in a cell or even in a dorm type setting and you leave something on your bed, or you leave your cell open and you come back and somebody has went in your cell and stole your property. It's a big difference between an individual walking up to you, you got something in your hand, and he just take it from you, or if you're in your cell in there chilling and some dude comes over there, walks in the cell while you in there and just takes your TV. Now that's between you and him, and I don't think that many other people are going to get involved with that unless you got some homeboys to support you, because they're going to see that as basically a one-on-one type thing. I'm talking about, like I said, a person stealing something when he's being sneaky about it and he's taking it when nobody else is around, man. But like I said, basically in every single prison that I hit, man, you had the same type of people in each prison, man. You had the people who was argumentative, you had the philosophizers, you had the troublemakers, you had the lawyers or the penitentiary legal beagles, you had the people who played ball, you had the people who always sweated the phones, want to get on the phone all the time. You had the chess players, you had your dope fiends, you had your poker players, you had your people who was in the religion, so on and so forth. And let's keep in mind too that when all of us who went to prison, we didn't go to prison for doing our best of thinking. A lot of us had thinking flaws that led to us landing in prison, and some of us had thinking flaws that continue to leading to us getting into trouble in prison. Like I've said all the time, man, and I'm pretty sure this is for most prisons. I would say a high percentage of the trouble that an individual will find himself in, the trouble was self-induced, man. If the dude is cheating at poker, or if the dude is running around, buying narcotics and can't pay, stuff like that. And so this is why some of these stories that you hear, anybody doing a prison YouTube channel, the stories may sound similar. Another thing I forgot to leave out, I think is key in a lot of prisons, is homosexuality. It just depends on where you're at, and but that is extremely frowned upon in most situations. Now, don't get it twisted, because I'm not saying this for 1 second that homosexuality doesn't happen in male prisons, because it does, but it may happen in different ways from state to state. Different states have different politics. Like I said, in California prisons, you have a lot of people who want to say they want to try to basically interject the things that they have heard. I'm telling you from my experience, and other people may have different experiences than mine, but from my experience, when I got to prison in 1996, that men being abused and victimized by other men was something that was not very it's not something that happened a lot, and due to the reason it didn't happen a lot in California, I would say, as opposed to maybe a down south prison, is because in California more individuals are connected. They're gang related, they're clicked up, and so someone is not just allow somebody else to victimize their homie. And so that's the thing like that. I've seen some documentaries where in down south prisons where people do time more on a one-on-one basis, that type of stuff does happen. But like I said, it just all depends, man. And so but you have stories where, of course, people are dealing with homosexuals, and a fight ensues or something like that. That's one of the biggest things also for the people who do indulge in that type of lifestyle in prison, because in their mind, they're dealing with a woman. And so the same way you have men fight over women on the street, it's even more so in prison when something like that is a rare commodity. Like I said, a lot of the prisons that I've been in, anytime someone who was a homosexual came to the yard, they was ran off the yard. Not every single time, but more times than not. And so, but back to what I was saying in terms of, you hear similar stories. This is why the stories are so similar, because you have, like I said, you have the same people doing the same things in all these prisons, and so when you have that same type of stuff going on, man, you're going to have similar stories. It's going to be people getting extorted. There's going to be people getting bullied. It's going to be people running around owing debts, getting beat up for debts, bumping their heads, that type of stuff, and so that's the type of atmosphere that creates these similar stories. And what slightly ruffles my feathers sometimes is, because I don't know 100%, but I just get a big feeling that a lot of these dudes who are leaving these comments have never set a day in prison. Because if you had spent any even a small amount of time in prison, a couple of years, you would see that pretty much like I said, man, from prison to prison, you're going to find the same people doing the same type of stuff. So whatever you're into at this prison in California, they can ship you six hours up to another prison, and you're going to find the same type of stuff. Whatever you got going on, you're going to find your crowd there. Just hit the yard, ask around, look around, you'll see it, you know. It reminds me of a story one time, man, when I first hit the Riverside County Jail. Now, I seen an individual who I knew from the streets. Now, we wasn't friends at all. I would say we was acquaintances due to the fact I lived in a small town. We may have spoke from time to time, but I seen this individual hanging with the people who I got into it with, you know. So I'll say, you know, my victims or whatever. So now when I first hit the county jail, like I told y'all, if you guys are familiar with my channel, I went to what was known as the Crip tank. Now my victims were not Crips. They happened to be Bloods. And so when I see this individual in the Crip tank, I'm shocked because I always thought he was a Blood. Well, actually, I didn't even see him. He saw me. So he said, E Chill, what's up? Now, like I say, people who really don't know me, they call me Chill. If you call me E Chill, which was my original name, then you really know me from back in the day, or you've seen that on my license plates. I used to have a car and I had E Chill on my license plate. So when the dude called me E Chill, I don't recognize this dude. You know, he's real big. At that time, he was the biggest dude in the tank, but not necessarily muscle bound big. You know, he was just big by weight, you know. So I said, hey, what's up? I take a step back. This dude was probably about, I don't know, 6'2", 6'3", maybe about 260, you know, somewhere around there. So I said, hey, what's up? I said, who is you? He tell me who he is. Then I take another step back. I'm like, man, what you doing up in here? Because like I said, when he told me who he was, I knew him to be affiliated with the people who I had got into it with and came to jail and eventually would go to prison. So I thought he was a Blood. He said, oh, no, man, no, man, I'm from Rubidoux PJs. I'm from Rubidoux PJs, which is a Crip hood out in Riverside. So I asked him, I said, man, what are you doing up in here, you know? And so he told me, no, be quiet, you know. So anyway, come to find out, he was the porter up in there. And so like maybe the next day, he happened to make a cup of ramen soup, noodle soup. You know, they got these little hot water fountains up in there. So he made his soup, he set it down to cook, and he went outside real fast, outside of the pod to go do something with do something with the broom or the mop or whatever. So now when he goes outside, it's another dude up in there by the name of Gun. Gun was from Pomona, Trade 57. Now Gun was basically running the tank. I wouldn't necessarily say running the tank through, he wasn't bullying dudes, but he definitely was with the business, and he had pretty much fought a lot of the dudes up in there, and, you know, didn't nobody really want to see him. It was another dude up in there, man, the dude who cut me on my back, and I'm not going to put his name out there, but them dudes was pretty much, those two were I would say those guys were the two dudes that was, you know, basically running the tank with these things that nobody really want to see him or whatever. And actually, they had got into it also too. So anyway, the dude Gun, though, when the guy goes outside to do whatever he's doing with the moon, man, that word is giving me trouble. With the mop, I know they're gonna kill me about this. With the broom or the mop, Gun goes. He tells everybody, shh. He goes and grabs his soup, opens it, and drinks some of his soup and eats some of his soup. I guess he had left the dude had left a fork on top. So now when the other dude come back in, he goes to pick his soup up. He can immediately tell that somebody's been in it. He looks inside and see that somebody didn't drink it. He threw it. He got mad, like, hey man, he started cussing. Who been in my stuff? Now, obviously, like I told y'all before, man, I don't think nobody harasses nobody or whatever unless they don't like him or they feel that he's an easy win. Now, this dude Gun, he wasn't as big weight-wise as the other dude, but Gun definitely had some size on him too. So anyway, long story short, you know, when he said, who been in my stuff? Gun said, I did it. Why? What's up? You know, now, of course, now The dude had, he didn't said a few cuss words and kind of put himself out there. Gun was like, what's up? You don't like it? You got a problem or something? The other dude said what he said, but Gun said, yeah, you already know. Come down here and see me then. So I believe Gun had already had a problem with the dude anyway, because like I said, that was highly disrespectful to go on somebody's food and eat their food and basically be like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So he called him down to the cell. Now, when they go down to the cell, they go down to the cell to get their squab on. Of course, when they squab and they go in the cell because they don't want to fight in the day room, because if the CO see it, the guard or whoever, they're going to lock everybody up. So when they go down to the cell, everybody kind of stay away from the cell because we don't want to draw no attention to what's going on. But of course, people is nosy, inquisitive, or whatever. So all of a sudden, you hear them up in there squabbing. And that's it. All of a sudden, Gun, he walk up out of there. I'm like, damn, I'm thinking, because like I said, this other dude was a big old dude, man, especially more in weight. And he had gained a lot of weight, and which is why I didn't recognize him from the street. Once he got up in there, I guess, maybe he's on the street messing with drugs or whatever. But I know he had put on about at least 30, 40 pounds from what I knew him to weigh on the street. So anyway, Gun walk up out of there like, yeah, what's up? I did that. So I walk past, peek up in there. He's sitting on the desk. He woozy. He woozy. He got the brakes beat up off him. But like I say, this is the type of stuff that happens, from penitentiary to penitentiary, from prison to prison, no matter what state. The states may vary a little bit in the politics, man. Some states are more, they have a bigger gang presence. Some states don't. But still in all, these are the same things that go on from story to story, which is why a lot of the stories sound similar. Like I said, man, initially, I used to start off my videos by saying, y'all already know how this gonna go. Some dude come on my page saying, hey man, you stole that from Jay Williams and all this old type of stuff. I think I may have heard that a time or two. Like I said, man, think of now, and I know a lot of you guys who watch prison channels, you watch a lot of them. How many prison channels do you hear the guys start their story off by saying, or their video off by saying, what's cracking YouTube? That's just a popular saying, especially in a lot of California prisons, man. And so, but it's always these, these dudes who never done no time, man. I call them real life fans. These dudes who are, who are fans of the prison life, man. Who are, I guess even fanatical, to the point you want to call them fanatical, man. And so dudes who don't know what they talking about, man. And or you may hear stories, man, about a person having a bad celly or something like that. I mean, that happens all the time, man. There's always dudes who can't keep a celly. They can't keep a celly. And every time they get a celly, the celly's gone in maybe 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month. And the person who can't keep a celly, he's always blaming the celly that he just had as it was his fault. He never wants to look into what part he may have played in him not being able to get along with anybody. He may not want to look and think about the issues that he has, the character flaws that he has that causes him to get into it with all the cellies. Now, like I said, man, in California, having a good celly is extremely important, man, because you expect for your celly to damn near, you guys can go up in there and chill, you discuss something. Some people have cellies for like 4 or 5 years, 6, 7 years. It all depends, man. And so especially in California, a lot of people like to sell with their homeboys, because like I said, in California, the gang politics is deep. So you don't want to be in the cell with somebody, you and that dude is cool. One of your homeboys and one of his homeboys get into it on the yard. Now you guys got problems. I done heard this happen several times. It happened to me before. I got into it on the yard, and my celly, who happened to be from another city, he rushed me on the yard. So it was, it's crazy. But anyway, like I say, a lot of dudes expect, to be real cool with they celly, man. So I got a cold story, man. A dude happened to be from Pomona, and I ain't gonna put their names out there, but his homeboy was from Pomona, and they were cellies. Now, I forget the type of trouble this dude got into, man, but long story short, he was going to the hole. And so when you go to the hole, they come get at you, be like, hey, man, hey, chill. Your celly going to the hole, man. Pack his property up. So now it falls upon you to pack your celly's property up. Now, whatever this one dude that went to the hole for, it was something big, and he wasn't going to be coming back, And so, like I say, in California, man, we're allowed TVs, radios, CD players. At this time, you know, hot pots, you know, personal clothing items like shoes, sweats, you know, tops, stuff like that. Deodorant, you know, stuff for your hair, hygiene, all this type of stuff. So it's always extremely important when your celly goes to the hole. And anytime I had a celly go to the hole, I double check, triple check, quadruple check to make sure I got all his stuff. You know, I'm looking around, you know, make sure he may have something hanging up or whatever. Get all his stuff, because you never want to be known as a foul individual who intentionally tried to keep some of your celly stuff. And so that's just what this dude did, man. So like I say, the other dude they was both from Pomona. One dude is going to the hole. So now in order to go to the hole in California, I forget the exact name of the paperwork, but they need to get your whole sea file and send it with you to the hole. So they come to this dude's cell. They tell him pack your celly stuff up. So, you know, after about maybe 15, 20 minutes, however long it was, the CO came back over there. Dude slid out all this stuff. But the cold part about it is, well, I'll say that story for later. That part of the story for a little bit later. So the dude slides out all this stuff. So now maybe about an hour later, the dude is up in there, he kicking it. He done brought all the stuff down to the bottom bunk. Oh, he up in there chilling now. His celly gone, you know. He probably just to get freaky deaky with himself up in there, you know what I'm saying? All this type of stuff. And so maybe about an hour later, guess who pops up at the door? It's his celly. For whatever reason, they couldn't find his C file. So what they was going to do, or they couldn't find whatever they needed to send him to the hole. So what they was going to do, they was going to put him on what's known as CTQ status, confined to quarters, because this happened late at night. They was going to confine him to quarters. That means you're going to be locked in the cell until they could find whatever they needed to find, and they was going to send him to the hole the next morning. So once the dude comes up in there, he look around, he see that his celly, his homeboy from his own hood, then kept a whole lot of his property, which was extremely foul, because this dude knew that he had got caught up in a situation, and the celly who didn't send all the stuff. So he expected never to see this dude again at this penitentiary. Then, of course, he could say, oh, man, I sent all your stuff. I don't know what happened. But when the dude come back to the cell, he see the dude didn't kept, like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but he may have kept his hot pot, a couple of CDs, his radio, or whatever. So, soon as the dude closed the door, you know, the dude said, damn, man, that's how you gonna get it? You just gonna keep my property or whatever? The dude really had no explanation. He came with some weak explanation, but whatever it was weak, and all of a sudden, bing, boom, bop, bing, boom, bop, boom, bing. His celly get on his helmet, though, you know what I'm saying? Mix him up real tough and easy, like some Betty Crocker bake mix for the little kids, you know, beat the brakes off him up there. And then, so how we find out is a little later, we end up going to the hole, and my partner, T-Roll from Colton, rest in peace from Colton City Crip. He was real cool with the dude from Pomona. I believe they had been in YA or whatever, and he relayed the story to him, man. And so, you know, that was extremely foul. Not only was this your celly, but this was your homeboy. You know, you guys was from the same area, man. And so, but like I say, any individual who's done any amount of time, they're gonna have stories similar to this, man. And that's why some of the stories may sound similar, because when you do time, you have the same players, man. The people with the same slick habits, or people who think they slick, doing the same type of stuff. Like I say, it may be different people, but they're definitely involved in the same thing, man. So if you ain't never been to the pen, man, you don't know what's going on, sit back, enjoy the videos, man, and don't make assumptions, man. You know, like I say, because all this stuff goes on from prison to prison. I'm sure, especially in the United States, you know, it's the same stuff, man. People are arguing about, you know, gambling. People are arguing about drugs, the phone. You know, people are stealing their cellies, sometimes stealing their celly's address off his mail, trying to write his girlfriend or his wife. All this type of stuff goes on, man, you know. So anyway, that's a little information on letting y'all know why sometimes some of these stories may be similar, man. Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy 16 to Life. Resume normal program.